There's been a lot of excitement and reactions after watching Mike Tyson, almost 54 now, have another good go at the pads. But if you even think that he's got a chance against anyone near the top 10, anyone halfway decent, then you are either a moron or, in Mike Tyson's own words, a neophyte of a boxing fan. There is no way that today's incarnation of Iron Mike Tyson is going to have a prayer against anyone halfway decent. What you saw on the pads is what Teddy Atlas described, what he gave the most accurate commentary to, which is that that's just in Mike Tyson's DNA. He's going to always be able to call upon that quick, fast twitch muscle fiber type of explosivity and maybe just knock a guy out. Especially when it's repetitive movements choreographed with pads and not against an uncooperative opponent. The last time Mike Tyson fought in 2005, 15 years ago, he slugged it out in a really terrible fashion, well past his best, against Kevin McBride. Before that, he lost against Danny Williams. And in that fight, as he tried to get a body, which was then much younger than it is now, he tried to get it to go into competition. I think, was it a ligament or a tendon tore in his knee? There was a period early in that fight, back in 2004, when even then, which was years ago now, 16 years ago, Mike Tyson's body was still not up for proper, intense combat. I've heard people saying, oh, he's probably good for probably a couple of rounds against the top 10, and then he'd crap out. Are you kidding me? The guy will be done in a few seconds. And there's so many things that come with being that old. Even Bernard Hopkins, the king of old fighters, he looked pretty bad come 50 years of age. Mike Tyson has been smoking like a chimney. And when you get old, it's not just your joints. Your skin is thinner, you cut easier. There's all kinds of problems that come with being older. There's the Joe Rogan podcast. I like it. Joe Rogan interviews everyone. I think that's one of his great strengths. But when it comes to talking about boxing and Mike Tyson, he gets involved in that love affair, which has been, it's been going on since the 90s. Since Tyson came out of prison, everybody has just fell in love with this idea of the beast. And they've always wanted him to fulfill some sort of like God of War wrath that his body was no longer capable of. I did back in 2002. I wanted him to beat Lennox Lewis. I was about 16, just turned 16 or about to. Stayed up all night, really nervous. Come on, Mike Tyson, please. Even though I basically know you're past your best. Can you just knock out Lennox Lewis? But it didn't happen. But that same kind of immature perspective that I had as a 16-year-old back in 2002, that is still prevalent in guys who are middle-aged. It's like, no. I love Mike Tyson for many reasons. He's a scholar of boxing, as well as being a fantastic fighter. But enough is enough. It's probably just boredom during this lockdown. Same with Evander Holyfield, who also amusingly told us that he's back. But Mike Tyson, the force, the wrath that he was, is assuredly a thing of the past. Today, he is not the same man, and I think he's just, working off some of the old cobwebs. Eventually, again, if you think Mike Tyson has still got it in a professional capacity, you need to have a good look in the mirror.